Hello, hi, and assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to study the fifth chapter of The Reluctant Fundamentalist. The fifth chapter begins with the Changez's description of his work assignment in the Philippines. He's talking about his stay there, and he also talks about how he spent time in Philippines. What kind of behavior did he show to the people, and also talks about Jim and his work experience there, about the people he met there, about his team and all, right? So Changez is excited by his work assignment in the Philippines, um, but during the description, he uh, take pause, and he asks the American about his business, the American with whom he is sitting. But the American refuses to tell him what his business is, and Changez then proceeds with his description of his stay in Philippines, right? Um, so he describes the city of Manila in the Philippines, and says that the city is um, it has the armies of poor people who are surrounding the ultra rich, are protecting them, and there in Philippines, Changez imitates the Americans, right? He speaks and acts like the Americans. Clear? Changez speaks and acts like like the American, right? Sorry, like an American. Okay. So while imitating the Americans, the only reason is that he wants to gain the respect from the people of Philippines, from the Filipinos. He becomes so aggressive and arrogant. I don't know why he becomes aggressive and arrogant. If he wants to imitate the Americans, I don't think so. That the Americans are always aggressive and arrogant. I don't find this thing to be true. But now Mohsin Hamid has incorporated this thing into his work, so let us just go for it. He acts aggressive and arrogant, and he even disrespects the older men, and uh, in some corner of his heart he feels ashamed, but he never shows it. Clear? Chengiz's job in Philippines is to value a recorded music business. He and his team, they are working tirelessly, and Chengiz feels powerful there. Chengiz feels powerful because he believes that they are they like he and his team, they are shaping the future of of themselves, as well as of the employees who are working in the firm. Uh, but in the same time, he also feels lost and also bewildered. Then he relates an incident where he is riding um, in a public bus. Clear? And the bus driver is like he glares at Chengez with a hostile expression, and Chengez thinks that this hostile expression or this hostility might have risen from the hatred about his Western appearance, or from the falseness of his role. Clear? And in the bus, Changez feels closer to the bus driver than to his colleagues. Okay. Then what happens is that James also flies to Manila, and he um, like wants to see how the project is going. Claire, there Jim tells Changez that everyone is saying great things about you, right? About sorry, what's his name? Changez, right? Jim then he also tells him his past life, like he was a in the past. Jim was also a poor kid in America. He was always outside, and this shared sense of desire, this shared feeling for getting more and more, has actually led Jim to take Changez under his firm or under his wing, right? Um, then Changez pauses his storytelling, and he warns the American that what he is now telling him, um, the American might not like it, um, but he has to say it, right? So Changez tells him that when he was packing his bags on his last day in Manila, he watched the September 11 attacks on the World Trade Center in New York, um, and he tells the American that the sight made him smile. Claire, the sight made him, sorry, now the sight made him smile, but he also explains the reason for his smile. um, he says that he is not indifferent to the suffering of others, and when he tells him this, that the sight made him smile, the American, he gets angry. It actually infuriates the American. But Chengis explains that he smiled because he was not thinking of the thousands killed in the attack, but he was it was something symbolical for him, that so he thought that someone had so visibly brought America to her knees. Clear? These are the exact words. Let me write it. Someone had so invisibly visibly, someone had so visibly brought America to her knees. Okay, now we'll also go for its critical analysis, but if you look at this line, this shows Chengiz's hatred for America. Like on the one hand, he is imitating the Americans, and on the other, he hates the Americans so much. He hates America so much that he feels happy when the World Trade Center was attacked. Okay, but he clarifies that it was not because of the Americans, but because of the feeling that America has now been brought down to her knees. Clear? Um, but Chengiz feels that it was not good for the Americans, but for the America, and this feeling actually is Changez's reaction to what the American racism has actually been induced into the Americans, and they like they are quite racist, they are quite negative towards the Pakistanis or towards any Asian, particularly Pakistanis, right? um, then Changez, uh, like at the airport, he's pulled into a room for search, and he also gets worried looks from other passengers, Claire. Um, and he is also taken for questioning and inspection at the airport, right? Okay, now if we talk about Changez's identity, clear? Like there are two incidents that shake Changez's identity, clear? Firstly, he wanted to embrace the identity of a true American, um, but the hostility of the bus driver and and Changez's reaction to the 9/11 attack, they are like significantly the turning points in his life, clear? um, the driver's hostility and hatred for Changez, um who has the appearance of an American when he is with his colleagues, um, it likely comes from the driver's recognition that Changez is playing a role or appearing to be someone that he is not, clear. And Changez seems to be denying his true identity, clear. And by this he's showing his contempt for himself, clear. And for the bus driver, and for the residents of Manila with whom he has a greater connection. Changez feels kind of an inferiority complex, and that is why he does not want to appear like the like a Pakistani, and he dresses like the American, clear. But after the September 11 attacks on the World Trade Center, we see that Changez's true Pakistani identity is revealed there, clear. His smile and pleasure at seeing the attack is a reaction uh, that even confuses him, clear. Um, Changez tells the American that it was not the deaths of Americans that pleased him, but America's getting what it deserved, right? He was pleased because he considered the attack as an act of retribution, or you can say justice for America, for America's excessive pride and the imperialist actions that America has in the world. Um, and this attack, after this attack, Changez becomes the target of American racism. Um, he has been investigated, and at the airport, he is brought into a room where he is questioned, clear. So that is all about chapter 5. If you've got any question, you can ask in the comment box. Thank you very much. Take a very good care of yourselves. Goodbye.